Hello, how are you? It's me, Tony, the Stubborn Stitcher, and this is my FlossTube about cross-stitching and whatever else comes up, which may today because I don't have a lot of stitching. How are you? Welcome. If you're new, I know several people are new because so last time, and you can go back and reference it if you have not seen it, last video, which was a couple of weeks ago, I told a little story about a certain expletive word that people use, but they use it different now. And so I was particularly talking about a certain YouTuber, and you know who you are, Darcy, or Darcy. His last video, he said his wife likes when he gets close and says hello. So it's very ASMR to go like this and then to say, how are you? So I had to do that. That's why your wife likes it, okay? I'm just saying. I could do a whole video like this. Hello. Welcome to my FlossTube, where I talk about what I'm stitching. Yeah, right. Okay. There's no telling who I would have tried. Anyway, Darcy liked my little video since it was really about him and his use of a certain word. And so what he did was, in his latest one, he has incorporated some of what I said as an overlay to things he was saying. So it was kind of fun. Then I had to watch the whole thing because I had to see when I would pop up. And he sounds pretty good when he's me. Anyway, enough of that. So some of you I know have come because you saw that. And that's the thing about FlossTube is everybody, for the most part, loves everybody else and says, oh, I like this guy, I like this other person, or this is what happened. I had this conversation with this FlossTuber, etc., and so on. And yeah. So welcome. And if you are not somebody that is coming by for the first time, if you are a subscriber or a loyal watcher, welcome back. I'm glad you're here. I started to do this yesterday, and I did sort of like part of a haul because I thought, well, let me do that separate. I was using something different than this little mini ring, which I don't even have on. I guess I should turn it on, but I'm not. Well, maybe I should. No, I don't think so. Do you think there's enough sun. There's a window right here. So anyway, I got like the one part I wanted to finish, and so I was looking and I realized that at some point about 2 minutes in, it just got off. And it wasn't there, and personally I didn't feel like doing it again because you will hear in the background a noise, which is this one of those little plastic fans, oscillating fans, because even though 3 weeks ago we were all freezing our little bohinies and our pipes were busting and we didn't have water or electricity here in South Texas, right now it's been in the 80s and very humid, which is how Texas is, and we love it. So my office / craft room is upstairs, and as we all remember from 6th grade science, hot air rises, so it is especially warm up here, so I have to have a fan on. So that's the noise, and I'm sorry. Life is full of little difficulties. Anyway, so what's happening? Not much in some areas, mostly like in the stitching area. It's been kind of it's been, how shall I say it? I don't know, I just haven't, well, part of it is, the other thing about South Texas is we have a lot of allergens. And while some are seasonal, mine is mostly mold, which is not seasonal. You can have it any time of the old year, and which I do. And with the weather the way it's been, like when it's cloudy but it doesn't rain, or after the rain, or if rain has been mentioned in a forecast, I can get a headache, and it usually hits my eyes, and so then, you know, trying to stitch is painful. The other reason is, and this is why I have so little to show you, is, you know, once I came back to, for those that don't know, I came back to cross stitching after like a 30-year hiatus. I was much younger the last time I did this, and I could just be on the bus. I would do counted cross stitch on the bus, no problem, not a problem seeing, not a problem doing anything. Well, times have changed, and my little eyeballs cannot see things like they used to. And if I get on linen, which I was doing, just 32 count linen, nothing crazy. The crazy people that say, I'm using 52 count linen. Well, not gonna happen. It just hurts my eyes, and then everything kind of goes, and it's like a glaze. And I have the light, I have the readers on, I have everything I'm supposed to do. So I need to go see the optometrist and say, look, I'm not doing office work anymore, but now I'm doing this, and so I need something. I need a different prescription, like either prescription readers or bifocals or something. I have progressives, which is great if you're working. You look at the computer, you can look at, you know, whatever you're doing, you can talk to a person, you can do all that. But that is not my lifestyle anymore. I'm driving, I'm watching TV, or talking to my spouse, but I'm not doing like a whole lot of everything at once. Okay? So, not that you really wanted to know all that, but I'm going to tell you anyway, because I don't have a whole lot of notes. I have very little to show you today. Okay. But I have some. So let's go there. The other thing, just FYI, is a little different setup. I move furniture. That's another reason. Up here, I have a desk because I used to work from home, and I had a table I was using as a craft table because I couldn't really get it downstairs. It was heavy and awkward and not a good fit. But I wasn't going to move it downstairs. And my husband is disabled, so he can't help me, or we'll all go tumbling down the stairs, to the dog's delight. And I was trying to make it work. Well, it wasn't. But it so happened that that weekend that all the bad weather came in, we had family that just happened to show up in our town. They were staying downtown in a hotel, so it wasn't like they showed up and said hi. But I finagled them to bring that table downstairs because I was going to have somebody picking up things from the thrift store, from a thrift store or something. So then, after all the weather and everything, I went and got a little IKEA table. You know, the cheapy ones, not the $8 one. I got the $22 one. I was going to get the one the next size larger, which is 5 foot, because it would have fit great right under this window. But it's like a foot deeper, and that was the problem with the other table. So it's a 4 foot one, and I think it's fine. And I bought the little cheapy $14 chair with the little plastic back, with the little legs. Doesn't have wheels. And, you know, it's not the most comfortable thing I ever sat in, but it's okay. And it's holding up all of this. So, $14 well spent. Anyway, on to stuff. So there's very little, when I say very little, there's very little. I had some stuff, other stuff. I'm not even going to show it because I was doing that Prim series, and I was almost finished with the house. I was working on the roof on that little house, and I'll show you a picture of what it's supposed to look like. But my eyes were just going cross-eyed, and I was having to rip out stuff because it looked so atrocious. So it's just time to put it up till I get my eyes fixed. Then we're fine, because I do like. Okay, so this is a new start. This was the one, I think I talked about this last week. It's the little I got it off of Etsy. It's a little Frida Kahlo one, and I'll put a picture somewhere. I showed it last week. So I started on it, and I'm kind of skipping around on it because, as you'll see from the little picture, not a whole lot, right? It's like, wow, so exciting. Tony, that's amazing. Isn't it amazing stitching? So, because she's wearing like a little band of flowers, and so there's some greenery, and then there's her hair, and then she's wearing earrings that come down here, and I have to, I didn't really have the called for colors for all of them for the flowers. So, I've been skipping around because everybody's got black, and I had the greens, so that's what I'm doing with that. But it's fun because it's on Ada, and I can still see Ada, thank goodness. And the other thing, which I show you guys every time, it's because it's going to last all year, is a SAL, a stitch along, for those unaware of the many abbreviations apparently used in cross-stitching. But this isn't cross-stitching per se, it's black work, which is really just backstitch, fancy backstitching. So every week you get a new little square to do, and when it's all done, it'll be like a little sort of diamond-shaped circly thing. Last week was gosh darn awful. I could not make sense of it. Here it is, finished. I'll show you. Can't remember if I had this fit. No, I wouldn't have had this finished. I put something behind it. Hold on. There. Focusing. See that one right there? Yeah. I wanted to pull my eyeballs out. So then this week's is much easier, but I don't know if you can tell yet, but this will eventually have a pattern within the pattern, so to speak, because sometimes I'm a stupid overachiever, and all you need to do is do this, and I said, oh, but what if I did that, but then I also did this, even though I've never done black work before, and I really don't know what I'm doing, as you can tell, because I was pulling my hair out. But no, let me make it harder on myself. Kidneys. So, and that, my friends, what did I do with the bag for this? Oh. No. No, Where's Major Tom? I have no idea. Oh, it's down on the ground. Who cares? Alright. So. Oh. I've gotten some stuff. They're kind of related stuff. It's not all, well, a lot of it's just embroidery stuff. I bought some books off of eBay, because you can get them cheap. And I just thought, well, it'd be kind of nice to have some books, because I've done embroidery, I can do embroidery, but I don't know all the stitches for sure. And like cross stitch, it's been 30 years, and there's more technique involved in overall embroidery than there is in cross stitch. There just is. So I got some books. I thought I would show them to you. The first one is called Drawing and Design for Embroidery, a course for the fearful, by a guy named Richard Box, should you be so interested. And this guy this is more really like a little course. There's exercises and stuff where he kind of goes through and shows you different things, and has you kind of look at things like a color wheel and how to harmonize colors, how you he does exercises like different ways to draw for those of us who can't draw. One of which, this was a book like this one, where you draw things upside down. This was very popular 20 or 30 years ago, because it disorients your mind, and so you're really copying, or you're really looking at whatever you're drawing upside down, and so you're not saying, oh, I'm drawing a vase, or I'm not drawing whatever, a face. You're drawing all this other stuff, and so supposedly that helps your brain work. It does not help mine. Like else, talks about design. He talks about, he's got like that was a little exercise, how to draw profiles. I just thought it was a really nice basic type of, for people like myself who aren't naturally artistic when it comes to stuff like that. The second book that I bought, I thought this was kind of cool. It's called Doodle Stitching, Fresh and Fun Embroidery for Beginners. That would be me. And this is by Amy Ray. And you can tell this is a newer book because she spells her name funny. Nobody spells their name normal anymore. Don't come for me. So this book is from 2007. See, I told you. Anyway, I like this because, this is kind of like how most of us draw and how most of us would do embroidery. Is that she looks at very simple shapes and how to then, and she's got projects. Like here's a little apron. But it's mostly line drawing, so it's not anything overly complicated. Doing it on towels, but just different than grandma's embroidery. I have my aunt's embroidery. It's all pretty, but it's little flowers, and it screams 1945. So this is a little more. Look at this, isn't this cute? You do shoes. Now, to me, that would be a little harder because of the canvas. But anyway, that one. Now, from the real nerds of the world, which I can occasionally be, is Erica Wilson's Cruel Embroidery. And when I say cruel embroidery, I am talking a la several hundred years ago. The book's not several hundred years. But we're talking about English, early American crewel work. This book is old. This book is from 1962. But I like it because it's very good, big, where somebody who can't see can see how to do the stitch. And so there's a lot of that in here. So it's very good for those of us who are trying to learn different types of stitches And, you know, it's more reference material. There's very little color photos in here. There's a few, but for the most part, it's not unless they're looking at historic things. And then the last book, which is actually a cross-stitch book. And this is Shirley Watts' Flowers in Cross-Stitch. And so this is a lovely book that has 18 cross-stitch projects, charts, and for all the different little projects, she also shows you how to do the finishes, because some things are in a frame, but some things she's made a box or a pillow or something like that. So, you know, like here's a nice pillow. And yes, this is very 80-ish looking to me. 80s or 90s, I would say. 90s, 1995. So this is something, this is the very bizarre thing. Some of this is kind of bizarre. And you do have to be kind of nerdy to want to do this. I'm not this nerdy. It's a perpetual almanac. I have no idea why anybody would do that, but there's somebody somewhere that might want to do that. And as the chart, you make a little cloth with just, you know, it's just Ada. It's like Ada. And you get a cloth mechanism, make yourself a cloth. How easy peasy is that? I could do that. And if I say I could do it, and so like on this one, there's a workbook or a workbox that she made, and there's instructions on how to make that. So that was part of my haul. Now, another part of my haul was for those of you on YouTube, I'm not YouTube, that use eBay. I know people want to get, you know, they get kits or they get material or they get floss or whatever off of eBay, and sometimes it's cheap, sometimes it's not. But one of the things, and this isn't anything, if you're buying handbags, if you're buying cologne, if you're buying, I don't know, a jigsaw or whatever, a lot of times if you are on a seller's site who specializes in something completely different, you can get something you're interested in for really a lot cheaper, because they don't have any interest in knowing, you know, how to price something that's outside their little niche and or niche. Oh, let me say that. Niche. Okay. Their niche on eBay. So I found somebody that was selling some floss. Like over 200 flosses that were already bobbinated and labeled. So I said, I will take it. So let me show you what I got. Let me move this down. I don't know, that's my bosom. Nobody needs to see that. Hold on. And something like the stitchers. Oak Island for stitchers. Look at this. Look. There's hundreds. There's a couple of hundreds of these here. They're all numbered. I have seen very few repeats. I have found, like even though these look alike, this is $4.69, this is $33.46. So for somebody like me who I don't have a lot of just DMC hanging out, because I started back up and I'm not going to go out and buy the full set. This is great. So this is kind of fun. I have to put it in order, of course, so I know what I have. I can now probably kit up a few things that I have said no to kitting up, because I'll pull this up so you can see my adorable face. I'm back. Did you miss me? Anyway, So be on the lookout for stuff like that. Because if you are new or coming back to cross stitch and you don't have the supplies you used to, and you know, I'm retired, I probably would go out and buy the whole thing if I were still working, but I'm not, so I don't. But this is a nice way to kind of get a haul of so you have a basic grouping of, I mean, most of these are kind of common colors. There's not, I didn't get like Fruit Loop colors or, you know, glow in the dark that I know are out there. I don't need the ones, what are they called? And the ones with the little metal filament in them. I hate that stuff. And then, so I'm excited. So then the question is, what am I going to do with all this stuff? And how am I going to store all this stuff? Which is an issue, because this is a lot. And there are different ways. And I plan on getting like a little small chest of drawers to kind of put, because I have a lot of stuff. Like, I mean, you know, in the short period that I've been back stitching, I've acquired, you know, material or fabric, not material, and floss, and bought a fair amount of, you know, patterns and different things for whatever, just stuff. And then I have other stuff that is not necessarily related to cross stitching, but is related to crafting, or like yesterday, no, a couple of days ago, I went to a couple of thrift stores. I cannot tell you the last time I've done something like that because of the virus that shall not be named. But I went because it did not seem particularly crowded. And I did buy some like frames and stuff, Lego frames. You've got pieces that are finished, but I didn't have anything to put them in. So, and these are not necessarily specifically for anything I've stitched necessarily, but they're to have. Because again, why am I going to pay $5 or $6 for a frame I can buy for $1 or $2? So I got that. But then the other thing I bought, which is, there's a Facebook group that talks about different ways to store your floss and everything. This hair, look at this. This is terrible. This is terrible. Let's see, can we pull this back? Wouldn't be bad if it was not so frizzy. Anyway, I digress. The thing now, I bought a like a printer's box or a type box, not the drawers, but just one that at some point must have stood up because it kind of has legs, or it hung. Anyway, I'll show you. Come this way. Let's see if I can do this. Hold on. Let's do this. Okay, so I can see, that's my view out the window, which will lead out to the story of murder that's referenced in the title. Anyway, see? Look. Pretty. These fit perfectly one of those big mama, big mama spools that I got when Sulky was having a sale. It also will fit the little ones. But the other way I like to hold them is put them up like, because you can get two in here. Well, you say, well, Tony, these seem kind of small. They are, but they actually do hold. If you go this way, whoops, you can't see me, this way, it will hold a bobbin. And I can get 4 to 5 bobbins. No, maybe it's this way. It's just slightly longer and it fits the bobbin just perfect. The other way it's too short. I can get 4 or 5 bobbins in one of those little squares. And as you can see, lots of squares. And I can still get them in those other ones as well. And so I thought, well, how cute, because then I can see everything. And then for my, and I've shown this before, I think, for my overdyes, I have them on this, I'm going to keep them on this little rack by color. And I have some of my scissors. So here I am, being oh so organized. And then I'm back. I think that's it. We're not having much. I talked a lot. Okay, so let's talk about murder. I own 2 dogs. One is a 75-pound pit bull mix lap dog. The other one is, they're all rescue. We've only ever gotten rescue dogs. Is a, and the big one, the 75-pound one, his name is Arlo, as in Arlo Guthrie. Picture will be here somewhere. And the other one, he's 4. Arlo's about 4. And then last year we adopted Rusty. And he is, for all intents and purposes, a rat terrier. He may be a bit of a mix, but mostly he's rat terrier. And he's probably about 2.5. Little picture here. Okay. Now, they're lazy little dogs as far as they don't really like outside. Well, I showed you the view from my back window, so that's from my backyard, where in the summer especially, and then other various times of the year, we are inundated by squirrels. Yes, squirrels. Which people have sort of mixed emotions about. Some people like them because they're cute and they're fuzzy, and they are cute and fuzzy, and I like them in that regard. I do not like when they decide they would like to live in my attic and have all their little biddies there and then try to chew their way out. This is not commendable. So I don't really like, I like squirrels from a distance. I don't want them really being in my yard. I don't want them like going back and forth. But, you know, I'm not going to go shoot the squirrels or anything. It is illegal in my city. Anyway, and the dogs had been like totally clueless at first. I'm sorry. I'm just a moment of vanity. Ooh, it's even worse. Okay. Back up, Tony. You feel bitter about how you look. Anyway, the dogs could be like clueless. They didn't care about the squirrel. And the squirrel knew this. And so I would have the squirrel would show up on the fence line and just like, ooh, 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 oh, stupid dogs, stupid dogs, stupid dogs. So I was trying to get the dogs to at least react to these squirrels, you know, chase them off. So somehow I taught them the word squirrel, and that the word squirrel meant go stare down the squirrel and tell him or her to leave. So I can just say the word squirrel now, and both of these dogs, who can both be fast asleep, will willy-nilly like break their neck trying to both get out of the doggy door at the same time to go and look for the squirrel. They didn't necessarily bark at the squirrel or anything. Just kind of looked at the squirrel. And the squirrels, for the most part, stay in the tree, stay on the fence line. They ride the fences on the side. They'll be in the front yard. They were in the front yard one day, and Arlo just was crying like, I want to play with the squirrels. I'm like, this is not what I want you to do with the squirrels. So Sunday passed. And today is, I think, March the 13th? Yes. Sunday, I hear a bit of a commotion in the backyard. I hear the little dog making kind of a funny little noise. And something is amiss. And I look. And they have a squirrel. Some stupid squirrel made the mistake coming into the yard, and Rusty had him by the tail, and the squirrel's trying to get loose. Nope. So then Arlo came over, and between the two of them, yes, they dispatched the squirrel to squirrel heaven. I mean, I go out there, I'm like, that's squirrel, because I'm not into really mayhem. I know, and I'm like, oh my God, it's murderous. But it's funny because they worked great together. I think Arlo probably did the crushing because he's a bigger mouth, but then Rusty had this poor little squirrel going, the squirrel's going, and at some point he died. He's on the ground like this. So I'm afraid they're going to bring the squirrel in the house, and I'm like screaming at the dogs, get in the house, get in the house. I get the squirrels in the house, and of course then I have to get rid of the squirrel. So that was our trauma. But he almost caught another one the other day. Except they're not smart enough to really locate the squirrel fast enough. And so we're still learning. But that was our murder. It was cold-blooded. Maybe premeditated. I don't know. I don't think they're that smart. I used to have a husky. And the husky used to wait in the back of the yard, by the back fence. Not say a word, just lay there and wait. And once the squirrel made it over the fence and came on the ground, he was like, whoop. Squirrel was dead. Coral snake was dead. So that was our excitement. Anyway, plans. I don't know. I'm going to keep working on my little Frida because I know how I'm going to finish her. I have like 3 items I need to fully finish, and I'm going to go through the stuff I bought and see what of that stuff I can actually use and hopefully finish something so I can say, look, an FFO. I just haven't been able to say that yet. I am waiting on stuff I pre-ordered from the expo, but I don't know. I'm going to try. I haven't really used that much like 16 count or 18 count or 20 count Ada. That may be what I need to go to instead of linen, but I like linen a lot for some things. But my eyesight being as it is, I may just have to go to Ada. But I also need to make an appointment to see the optometrist and see what we can do. But I also need to, we still have not gotten our vaccinations. I've been holding out for the Johnson & Johnson one because that was our doctor's consideration was to use that one. So I know it's been released. It's been used some here in our city, but they're still waiting on the big production of it, so that's okay. So it does feel like you can kind of almost start planning for summer, so that's kind of nice. It's kind of nice to know that. Anyway, that's it. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you had a good time, even though I didn't really have much to show. You know what I missed? Oh, see, I missed an opportunity. Just really what I should have done. It's done the ASMR thing with the books. And then hit the tap. If you like stuff like that, let me know. Maybe we'll do one. Just to be weird. I actually like ASMR. Some of it I know. But I don't think we have any ASMR stitchers. We have all different other types. I don't know why we can't have that. You get really a good microphone, and then the needle going through the fabric. Have you ever watched, Luda stitches? Because she has her canvas so tight, you can hear that needle goes through there. Okay. I'm not usually quite this weird this much, but this is what happens when I don't have anything to show you. So, y'all have a good day. Please still be safe. I know everybody in my state, we are no longer under a mandated mask ruling, but most people have half a brain and are still doing it. Most businesses are requiring it, and that's okay if they require it. It's groovy. I know the day will come when we don't have to worry about it, but I think just to be on the safe side, people have had spring breaks. You just never know. But it does seem like we've kind of turned the corner on everything. So that's nice. But everybody needs to do their part. If not for yourself, do it for other people, make them feel safe. Sometimes we just have to do things because it makes the other person feel better. Even if you think it's a giant conspiracy problem and, we're going to have a zombie apocalypse. It's okay. That's it. If you want to leave a comment, I like comments. I comment back. Like the video, do all this stuff, all the YouTube kind of, it's like attorney verbiage in contracts. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, hit the notification bell so you always know when I'm posting a new video, which I don't think it works, but they've left it there. And I'll talk to you later. Have a nice week. Bye-bye.